Good evening, all. On behalf of ICT Student Branch, I would like to welcome you all to the Personal Financial Planning for Engineering Graduates. With all the fresh enthusiasm and energy, we are about to begin our journey of another academic year in IEEE. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about the importance of financial planning. Let me introduce Dr. Chintan Rajani, Deputy Director of School of Management, RK University. Dr. Chintan has not only published many research papers in national and international journals, he also has a rich experience of conducting training and development programs for students, faculties, and executives. It's a privilege to have you here, sir. I'd like to extend my gratitude to management of Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology, respected principal sir, HOD sir, and student branch counselor, Dr. KMAV Prasad sir, for giving us this opportunity to organize the webinar. Now, I'd like to request our torch bearer, our principal, Dr. Sai Satyanarayan Reddy sir, to speak few words.
Okay.
Over to
Thank you, Supraja. Hope Supraja is right. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this webinar today. It's a very, very important webinar. It may not be technical, but it sounds very good because financial planning for engineering graduates is very, very important nowadays. And congratulations to all IEEE Shreyas student branch bearers, office bearers, and Supraja Maisura Reddy, and especially the man behind these programs, Dr. Prasad, who is very active to conduct these type of student programs. I am really happy to join in this session. And this is, I think, the personal financial planning for engineers, graduates. During this Corona time and maybe last March onwards, I've been observing there are so many financial problems happening throughout the world. So how to organize these financial things and how to spend and where to spend and all these are very, very important for especially for the young students like you people. And definitely this session will give a lot of benefit and the planning, financial planning also to your future. And especially I welcome today's chief guest, Mr. Chintan Rajani,
Yes.
Dr. Chintan Rajani, Deputy Director, School of Management and RK University. Sir, welcome you to Shreyas College, and maybe we are in online mode. But I am really happy to see and to listen to you about these financial, plannings. And thank you very much, Prasad, and thank you very much, Supraja and
My
Masar.
pleasure, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. So please continue the session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your valuable insights with us, sir. Thank you. Now, I would like to hand over the session to the speaker, Dr. Chintan Rajni, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. So first of all, I'm very much thankful to Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technology, Dr. Reddy sir, Dr. Prasad sir for making this session possible. All the office bearers of IEEE Shreyas student branch, you people are doing a wonderful job. And all the participants for inviting me on a very important topic for engineers, which is called personal financial planning. And I hope that next 1 hour which we are going to spend together will be fruitful to all of us, right? So, and thank you very much for the kind introduction of mine. Once again, I express my gratitude to all of you, and let us begin the session on this financial planning. So already it has been introduced about me, so I'm skipping this part. I directly put forward a question to all of you. You people are wonderful engineers. I am very sure that you are very much clear with your career goals. So can you quickly tell me what are your career goals? You may answer either by unmuting your mic or you can also write down in the chat box. What goal you have set for your career? Like where do you want to see at least 10 years down the line?
Higher studies and R&D, sir.
Okay, great. So you want to make your career in R&D field. Fantastic. Anybody else?
Managing and administration, sir.
Great. So you want to become a good manager or good administrator in the future. Congratulations that you have very set or clear cut path in your mind. Then in which direction you want to lead to your career. right? So even those who are not comfortable by unmuting their mics and giving answer, they can also just write down in the chat box. I'm equally okay. I will read their answers. But I look forward for making this session interactive, right? So I'm very sure that most of you want to make your career in the field of IT or maybe in the field of R&D or programming or maybe 10 years down the line, you would look forward. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So 10 years down the line, you may look forward to lead some team or something like that. But at the same time, how many are clear with your financial goals? Anybody have ever thought about any of your financial goals, that what kind of financial goals you want to set for yourself in the future? Or let me be more specific, how much money you would like to have in your bank account at the age of 55? I hope that most of you are in early 20s, like maybe 20, 21, 22 years of age. So how much amount you are targeting at the time of retirement? Let me cut short your 5 years of retirement, and let me just put forward a question that how much money would you like to have in your bank account at the age of 55? Just give a pause for 10 seconds and give me answer.
A couple of crores, I guess.
Great, but again, couple of crores means how much? It may be 90 crore, 100 crore, 1000 crore, 1 crore, 2 crore. And let me put an asterisk mark that I do not want amount which you inherit from your parents. The hard-earned money which was purely like sourced by you. Okay, so I got one answer from Subham, maybe like in 90 lakhs or above. Venu Gopal is answering 1 crore, maybe enough for like again Venu Gopal after at the age of 55, that means close to 35 years from today. Anybody else like 1 crore 90 lakhs, that's it, or anybody else would also like to set some goals like how much amount you would like to have in your bank account?
Sir, it's like not about setting the exact money. It's like whenever you want to take something or buy something, you should not even think twice about it. So I feel that I should have in that position, I should have as much money as I can.
Okay, okay, great. So maybe like I would like to say that one of the very good criteria to assess any of your goal, it may be a career goal, it may be a financial goal, it may be a goal related to health. You should always try to check it with SMART formula, whether it is specific, whether it is measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound or not. Otherwise, you may not able to achieve that goal, right? So when I say like I have asked a very specific question that after 35 years, what amount would you like to have? So I would love some people have answered it. Like again, maybe crores or 1 or 2 crore might be enough for us. Fine, we will see that whether it is enough or not, maybe in the subsequent slides. But how many of you are aspire to become a billionaire? And my first question is like when we talk about a billion, and if you want to translate a billion into crore, then how many crore it will be? Whether millionaire to become a millionaire is enough today, or you at least want to become a billionaire?
Sir,
100 billion.
100 crores. Okay, great. So maybe like 1 million means 10 lakhs and maybe 1 billion means 9 zeros. So that roughly translate to 100 crores, right? So definitely I would look forward that you set some higher goals, and I want that you people try to not only millionaire, but I wish that you set some goals to become a billionaire down the line, right? But again, you might be thinking that बोलने में क्या जाता है? Sir is just trying. He is a Guju, typical Guju guy. So you know very well how Gujaratis used to convince. So sir is just trying to sell his point that it is very easy to become a billionaire. And ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है. 90 लाख 1 करोड़ भी हो गया, then also it is more than enough for us. you might be having that thought process in your mind, but maybe like I'm assuring you that with proper financial planning, even that goal seems even smaller, right? If you plan it properly, right? That even billionaire goal is also become a very small. So how can you achieve that milestone? That is the most important question which we all people aspire. Kaise, how we can get or become a billionaire, right? So that's what we are trying to answer in this session. Majority of the people in India want, like again, they have high aspirations when it comes to money. They always want to become a crorepati or maybe a billionaire. But the problem is with the literacy regarding the finance, right? They do not have the proper knowledge of finance, that where to invest, how to invest, or maybe 20% of Indians financially illiterate, right? So that means they do not understand their basic finance knowledge, which all of us should have, right? And especially you being a graduate, I think that you should not have only the financial literacy, but you should able to guide some 10 peoples that where to invest your money, right? And that's how like we have kept this session on financial planning. You can achieve all your financial goals if you do a proper financial planning, right? I am repeating, you can achieve all your financial goals if you do a proper financial planning, right? And first step of financial planning or to set your financial goals is to write it down, otherwise it will be just a wish. That's why like I again ask you people that what is your financial goals, and I was trying to know that what goals is there in your mind, maybe crore, maybe 100 of crores, it might be anything, right? So in this session, I am trying to answer some of these questions like why financial goals are important, right? By the time I hope that you are sensitized enough that it is very important to set some financial goals. You can able to understand the difference between investments and savings. You will be able to understand about what are different asset class and the process of investment, right? So this is like roughly an agenda what we are planning to achieve in today's session. So to start with, we have tried to see some of the goals like maybe a billionaire or maybe just to have 1 crore rupees or 10 crore rupees at the age of 55. But in order to achieve that goal, I am giving you two options. What you need to do, savings or investment.
Investment, sir.
Okay, investment. Why not the saving? So
Because
Like
saved amount doesn't grow.
savings will grow.
great. Saved amounts doesn't grow. Great. So Venugopal thinks that one must save, right? And a couple of you thinks that no, saving is not enough. We need to do some investment, right? So my golden question is like, what is the difference between savings and investment then?
Uh, Savings is what, like the money will be static. Investment like will be getting a recurring amount, like it in a positive mode, a negative mode.
Okay, okay. So typically, like when we are kids, like we often used to get pocket money, and we often used to like put it in our piggy banks. So that is a saving or investment,
Savings.
right?
Sir,
Because that, yeah, please go ahead.
one thing is like we can invest in some things, but it may or may not grow. But savings will be only with us, no? So it will not be completed. Like our savings only will be with be us. So the money will not be decreased. So savings is the best part, and investment also is the best part. But some care should be taken, or some thinking should be there.
Okay, so from the limited conversation with Venugopal, I am trying to understand that you want to say that if we invest, there is also some risk associated, and it might be possible that you even lose the money which you have in your hand.
Yes.
Correct? So
Yeah.
that's why you prefer to go with the savings rather than investment.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. So let me just give you a very simple layman's definition of savings and investment. What do we mean by saving is like money which we save from our regular income after all deducting all the expenditure is called saving, right? Like in India, typically we are following this formula. Whatever income comes in our hand, like whatever salary you are going to earn, let's say you are going to earn 50,000 per month, then you are going to think, okay, let me buy one iPhone, let me buy this particular bike, let me spend and go to some good hotels, and then you left with some 4-5,000 rupees after spending almost 45,000 rupees from your monthly income, and then you are going to put it in terms of savings. And this is a typical formula of any Indians, right? So income minus expenditure, what left should be go to savings, right?
Yes.
But those who are a millionaire or a billionaire, they have a different, they used to have a fixed percentage in their mind, which they often used to invest first, right? So let's say they are going to make it that whatever income comes to my hand, minimum 20% I'm not going to spend, right? So first 50,000, 20% of 50,000 is 10,000. They are not going to spend anywhere, and from the rest of the 40,000, they are going to manage their expenditure, right? So saving is simple. Income minus expenditure is saving. But the problem with the saving is like there is one big demon which are going to eat our savings, which is called inflation. Any idea what is inflation and what is the current rate of inflation? Any idea about current rate of inflation? Okay, chalo, let me put it simple question. Any idea that what is the, sorry, pardon please?
5%.
Somebody has answered
5%.
5%, 10%, fantastic. Okay, tell me that what interest you are going to earn if you put your money in a bank, savings accounts.
Could you repeat, sir?
What percentage of money you will earn if you put your money in a bank saving accounts? They are going to give you some interest. So what is that interest rate?
3%.
1%.
Okay. So somebody is saying 3%. Some banks will be offering 4%. Some banks will be offering maximum 6%. Right?
0.5.
None of the. Yeah, please answer it. Right? Somebody have answered.
From 2.5%, it will be varying, sir, regarding the amount. Based on the
Correct.
amount.
Correct. Right. It depends on bank to bank, but the maximum somebody is offering in as of now is not more than 4.5%, right? And we talk about the inflation, the average inflation is somewhere around 8%, 7.5 to 8%. In that, I'm not talking about education inflation or maybe entertainment inflation or a health inflation separately. I'm just talking about a plain consumer price index inflation, CPI inflation, which is even 7.5 to 8%. So what will going to happen if you only going to save that you invest 100 rupees, you get 4.5% as an interest. So your money grows from 100 to 104.5. But at the same time, the goods which are at 100 rupees will going to increase, the price of that good increase by inflation. That means 7.5%. So the price of the good will going to increase to 107.5. So increase, like rather than having increase in your money, you will be in a deficit. कि आपको और 3 रुपया, like you will be in a deficit. कि you need to manage somewhere from somewhere in order to purchase that particular product. So inflation is a big demon which are going to eat your savings. So savings might not be enough, right? So the value of savings keep on decreasing because of inflation. I hope that you will got my point. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when savings start generating income, they will become investment. So at least we need to see that piggy bank में ऐसे पैसा नहीं होना चाहिए. We should invest in some of the product which will going to increase our money, right? It may be a bank FD. In bank FD also or bank savings also, there is some increase in your money. That means from 100 to 104.5. But again, the problem is that is not enough to beat the inflation, right? Or in other words, if I want to differentiate investment against the saving, then this is another definition. Any asset or item that is purchased with the hope that it will generate income or appreciate in future, then that is called an investment. 100 रुपया लगाया, 100 का 110 हुआ, so that means that 100 rupees you have invested, there is an increase of 10 rupees in that money which you have invested, right? If it is in piggy bank, it will remain only 100 to 100, right? So this is a basic difference between saving and investment, right? So I hope that that basic difference is clear to everyone. Now, let me ask you a question which is very important for all of you. By the time we can conclude that only saving is not enough, it is very much necessary to invest our rupee in some of the assets. Assets means कहाँ पे किस पे आप पैसा लगाते हैं उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Assets. That means it is necessary to invest our rupee in some of the assets to make it grow, right? So now this is the question which we all must answer about awareness of different investment alternative. Okay, even if you want to invest a single rupee today, then what are the different investment alternatives comes to your mind? आपके दिमाग में कौन कौन से alternatives आ रहे हैं जहाँ पे आप पैसा लगा सकेंगे और where you can able to invest your money?
So first thing we need to see the booming business.
No, like again, one thing is business. You need to be very plain that पैसा लगाना है तो कहाँ लगा सकते हैं जिसमें हम लोग invest कर सकते हैं. One is business. चलो, that is one thing. What else? Stock market. Somebody have answered mutual funds, stock market, cryptocurrency. Very good. Shreya has answered that. Very good, Shreya. Other than that, okay.
On land, sir.
ओके रियल एस्टेट और लैंड वेरी गुड चलो लैंड हो गया रियल एस्टेट हो गया स्टॉक मार्केट हो गया म्यूचुअल फंड क्रिप्टो करेंसी बिजनेस 6 ऑप्शन आई गॉट एज ऑफ नाउ बिटकॉइंस इज वन पार्ट ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसी दैट्स फाइन
Franchises.
सॉरी कैन यू पार्डन
Franchise, sir.
franchises okay so I hope that still you have not think about any traditional investment option most of you were like aware about some of the modern investment options that's very good but yeah franchise I understand yeah solar panels that is a part of a business great so now let me just show you the list of different investment alternatives which is available to you when you plan to invest even your single rupee, right? I'm repeating, let us understand different investment alternatives which is available to us even if we plan to invest a single rupees. So you might have heard about EPF and PPF, that means Employee Provident Fund Account and Public Provident Fund Account. Second is NSC, which is National Saving Certificates. FDs means fixed deposits. You can do that fixed deposits in banks or in post office. Then there are some saving schemes, senior citizen saving schemes, as well as the saving schemes which is available for a normal citizen. Somebody have rightly said about the mutual funds. Then insurance and ULIP plans. ULIP means unit linked insurance plans and other insurance plans. NPS means National Pension Savings Scheme. Direct equity means stock market. All kind of metals means gold, silver, then again diamond, ruby, that all kind of metals. Real estate, which includes lands and everything, and a business, right? But if we put aside a business, then all these are different alternatives which you have available to you when you plan to invest your single rupee, right? Again, most of you, if you are planning to do a job, rather than being start your own company or enter into the entrepreneurship or startup, then you also look forward for a tax benefit. So this all I have put a check mark. That means in all these options, there is a possibility of availing a tax benefit other than gold, right? And there is a duration which I have also mentioned, like whether it is a long-term product or short-term product, which is not important to understand as of now. But I just want to sensitize you that there are not very limited options. There are some traditional options like public provident fund account, NSC, KVP, Kishan Vikas Patra, then fixed deposits, saving schemes, and there are some modern investment options like mutual funds, NPS, that means National Pension Savings Scheme, stock market, cryptocurrencies, and gold and real estate. Real estate is forever, again 365 days. It is a favorite product of many of the persons or individuals, right? So again, if you, this all are called investment alternatives. When we say asset class, then it can be again classified into four major categories. Asset class means what kind of this all different kind of investment alternatives can be classified into various asset class. Asset means one kind of property which will be having, which are going to increase in future. So that will be called asset, right? जो फ्यूचर में उसका appreciation hoga, which you are going to appreciate in the future, that will be called asset, where you can invest your money. So if you want to classify all these investment alternatives, then there are four categories which is possible. One is called debt asset class, second is called real estate, third is called equity, and fourth is called commodity, right? Again, you can able to see that we have highlighted that into three colors. One is green, that means which are more safer in option, which is more suitable to a person like Venugopal who do not want to take much risk and they want to opt for a safer side. We have some of the option which are having a medium risk. So real estate and some of the product, as you can see, that are in yellow color, which are bearing a medium risk, and some of the product are in red color, which is called high risk products, and which is more suitable to some of the young investors like again Shreya, who have mentioned about stock market and mutual funds, right? So again, these are the major debt product like fixed deposits, then PPF, EPF, Kisan Vikas Patra, government bonds, infrastructure bonds, then again जीवन सरल LIC के आते हैं ना बहुत सारी पॉलिसी, जीवन सरल, जीवन आनंद, endowment plans, this all falls into debt product. Debt product में क्या होता है? There will be a low risk, low return kind of investment. That means you invest in that securities or investment alternatives, and they will give you a return which is not linked with any kind of a risk, right? And the return is in the range of 4 to 7 to 8%, max to max 8%. So 4 to 8%. Again, either it is less than inflation or maybe equal to inflation, but you are never going to increase or beat the inflation with that debt products, right? Again, real estate, that means residential plots or maybe a commercial property or real estate investment trust or real estate mutual funds. This all are having a medium kind of a risk. What is the sum of the risk which again involved in real estate is like somebody will not going to like again empty your property, or maybe there will be a depreciation in the property because of some of the change in the town planning or maybe some of the change in the TP schemes. So in that case, like you are bearing a risk which is a medium kind of a risk, that there might be not that much increase in the valuation of your property, right? Whereas there are some some investment alternatives which are high risk, high return kind of a stuff, which will give you the return exorbitantly more than any traditional investment options like mutual fund, unit linked insurance plans, equity stock markets, gold mutual funds, equity traded funds. All these are high risk, high return kind of a products which can give you a very good investment returns. It is not possible to understand the plus and minus of each and every investment alternative. So I'm just trying to give you the glimpse that what are the different investment alternatives is available to you. Now my simple question is, suppose if you want to invest in any of the product, and if you know that the average inflation rate is 7.5%, then you should invest in what kind of an alternative, which can give higher than inflation return or which can give less or equal to inflation return. अभी हमने देखा कि भाई like fixed deposits there is 6.75% return. Again, PPF account will give you a close to 8% or 8.5% return. Government bonds again will going to offer you the similar kind of a return. So whether you should going to invest in such return which is going to give you return approximately equals to inflation, or you should prefer an option which will going to beat the inflation.
Prefer an option
which
beats inflation.
Even though it is risky, then also
Minor risks. We have to take risk in some parts, and other parts we could play it safe, sir.
Correct. So the reason why I prefer that being a young, you should prefer an option which can beat the inflation. You can only able to create a wealth if your investment will going to beat the inflation rate. Because suppose आज आपका एक 100 rupees का product है, it will going to increase to 108 rupees. So if you have invested in some of the product which will give you 112 rupees, then and then only that 4 rupees difference will going to create your wealth. Suppose if you have invested in some of the options which will only give you 6% return, then you will be always in deficit of 2 rupees. So you will never able to create a wealth. Either you will going to invest just to beat the inflation, or maybe always in the phase like where you are always trying to accumulate more money in order to beat the inflation. So I always advise people to invest in options which can have a capacity to beat the inflation, right? So let me give you the glimpse of last track records of different investment alternatives which have beaten the inflation, right? Usme I have taken the like again a reference of 35 years which have all the phases. 35 साल में all ups and downs have been possible. So if I say 35 years back, that means I am talking somewhere around 85, from 85 to 2020, right? So there was some phase where FD was giving exorbitant returns. So average return in FD in last 35 years is 8.41%. Average return of gold in this year is 10.82%. Average return in silver is 10.03%. Average return of Sensex, which is a representative index of a equity market, is 16.72%. Average return of mutual funds is 17.36%, and average return of real estate is 16%, right? So this is the average return of 35 years, which have all ups and downs, right? If I talk about the equity market, it has up and downs like LPG, which was introduced in 1993, then that Harshad Mehta scam, then dot-com bubble, Ketan Parekh scam, then Satyam का जो crisis आया था, that Satyam crisis, again economic slowdown, and again this corona crisis, and again the market is right now at close to 50,000, right? So it has all the phases. So these are some of the products which have beaten the inflation over the period of time. So what I always suggest that one should invest in products which can beat the inflation, right? Okay, so now let us quickly move to, we have get a glance about what are the different investment alternatives, and that investment alternatives are classified in which asset class, whether they are classified into debt, they are classified into real estate, they are classified into commodities or equity, right? Now let us try to understand what do we mean by financial planning, how we can able to achieve our financial goals with the help of financial planning. So financial planning is basically a process of meeting your life goals through the proper management of your finance. Very simple, right? Okay, financial planning is a process of meeting your life goals through proper management of your finance. Now, what can be the life goals? It may be like you may plan to buy a luxurious house down the line. You may, if you are going to marry, then you may plan to like save for your children's higher education, or even if you might plan to save for your retirement. So these are some of the basic life goals which people used to have. Other life goals may be to buy a luxurious car, or maybe plan for some of the foreign trips, or maybe plan for your own marriage. So this all are different kind of like what we can say financial goals which people have in mind. So again, if I want to classify financial planning according to the life cycle stages, then this is a right picture to make you like understand. What are the different life cycle stages? You are into young adult stage right now. Then you will move to early age of your career. That means 25 to 35 is your early age of your career. Then you will move to middle age, then pre-retirement stage, and then finally you are going to live your retirement life, right? So this in this entire life cycle, we used to pass through three stages. One is called basic wealth protection stage, second is called wealth accumulation stage, and third is called wealth distribution stage. So what do we mean by basic wealth protection? That means in your early career, like early age of your career, you should focus on goals, setting some goals which are going to protect yourself. The biggest asset which you are having right now is your knowledge, skills which were made by yourself. तो सबसे पहला काम क्या करना है, खुद को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, right? We are the biggest asset of ourselves. Whatever wisdom we are going to create, for which companies are ready to pay us higher salary, that will going to happen in your middle age, right? Once you have some track record to showcase that, see, I've achieved such milestones or such kind of a performance in the past, and that's how like I can benefit to your company. So that will going to come in the middle age. But वो कब possible होगा? If you are going to protect yourself. So whatever you have in your hand, the best thing what you need to do first is you need to have into a wealth protection stage. So you need to protect yourself in order to bear all the expenses which is in the age of 25 to 35. Then from the middle of 30s to 50, your income will going to increase. So whatever goals we have set for our retirement, or maybe for our children education, children marriage, or maybe for a luxurious car or house, that all you are going to achieve in this particular stage, which is called wealth accumulation stage, right? You need to accumulate, means इकट्ठा करना है. Accumulate means you need to accumulate the wealth in this stage. Now this stage is very important, wealth distribution. What will going to happen post your retirement? That means after age of 60, your income will going to be stopped, right? And there will be a huge expenses which has been planned out, or like again you need to bear for next 20 years till you die, right? So it all depends on how well you manage your finance in these two stages, that how you are going to live your retirement life. If you do not have any of like amount in your saving accounts or in your retirement kitty, you are going to suffer in this stage, right? So that's why like these two stages are very important, wealth protection and wealth accumulation. You are going to get more details like in the subsequent slides. Like this is a typical investment and spend life cycle. First we used to plan for marriage. पहले तो अभी तक आपके पापा ने क्या क्या आपके लिए planning किया कि to fund your education. Then they are going to spend on your marriage. Then you have a children. For you need to spend for your children. Abhi children ho gaya, family ho gaya, then you might have some more aspirations. You may plan for a bigger car. Abhi car aa gaya, then you may plan for a bigger house. Then again you will also fall into the same cycle where your father is right now. You need to fund your children education, then again children marriage, tab tak life khatam hogi, you will be in a retirement stage, right? So this is a typical investment and spending cycle. So again, during this entire cycle, when I say financial planning, I always used to advise people to plan or protect for 4 Ds. I am repeating, you need, when I say financial planning, that means you should plan for 4D. What are that 4D? One is protection against death. Second is protection against disease. Third D is protection against disability. And fourth D is protection against dreams. Whatever you have planned that I'm going to accumulate the wealth, or I'm going to have a luxurious car, luxurious house, I'm going to fund my children education, I want to send him to the USA or Canada or whatever it may be, your children marriage, or I'm going to have 10 crore rupees at the time of retirement. What is the source of all that goals? Is you. What will happen if something happens to you? Whatever support you are going to provide to your family, all will going to shatter if you will be not there, right? So in order to protect all our financial goals, we first need to protect that what will happen if I'll be not here. So we need to protect what? First D, which is called death. So to protect against first D, death, I advise do not fall into prey of any other products. Just have a good term insurance. I'm repeating, just have a good term insurance. So for example, at the age of years, that means somewhere in the early 20s, if you want to have a term insurance of 1 crore rupees, I'm repeating, if you want to have a term insurance of 1 crore rupees, it will hardly going to cost you 7,000 rupees per year. हार्डली 20 to 22 रुपीज पर डे, राइट? एक चाय नहीं पिए ऐसा सोच लेने का, या फिर एक सिगरेट नहीं पिए ऐसा सोच लेने का, ठीक है? तो एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ जस्ट 1 टी यू आर गोइंग टू हैव प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ 1 crore फॉर नेक्स्ट 35 years, right, till the age of your retirement. So I advise that whenever you start earning, you first you should try to protect against all your financial goals by having a good term insurance. And I said you that 1 crore term insurance at early stage of years, maybe up to 24 years or 25 years, you can plan about a term insurance, and it will not going to cost you more than just a cup of tea, right? सेकंड डी इज डिजीज. एज वी ऑल नो, कोरोना ने सबको सिखा ही दिया है कि हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज टू हैव अ गुड हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट डिजीज प्रोन, राइट? Anybody at any age can have any disease, and where a huge amount will needed to fund for the treatment, right? Average expense of COVID is somewhere around 3 lakh rupees if you are going to have it in some good private hospital, right? Apart from COVID also, anybody, we are at a risk of any health disease, right? So second D, we need to protect by having a good health insurance. Again, let me tell you, for a young age like you, if you want to have a health insurance of 10 lakh rupees, I'm repeating, a health insurance of 10 lakh rupees, it will not going to cost you more than 5,000 rupees, right? तो monthly आप सोचो 5,000 rupees per year, तो monthly आप सोचो it will be less than 12-15 rupees per day, right? So again, second, we always need to protect ourselves with a good health insurance, so that will be again protecting in terms of dreadful diseases. Sometimes you need to travel a lot, right? टर्म इंश्योरेंस का फायदा कब मिलेगा, 1 करोड़ रुपया कब मिलेगा हमारी फैमिली को? इफ वी आर गोइंग टू डाई. What will happen that if we are traveling and there some happens to us and we got disabled? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कंप्यूटर इंजीनियर होते हैं, उन लोग के सारी एफिशिएंसी और सारी अर्निंग का सोर्स क्या होता है? उसका फिंगर्स, देयर फिंगर्स, right? They are going to type something, then probably they are definitely going to earn something. So there is a possibility of disability at any stage of life. So third protection, what we used to always advise people to have a protection against disability by having a good disability insurance, right? And fourth is dreams, to have a big car or big house, or to go for a Europe trip with your beloved ones, or maybe like to plan for your retirement or for your marriage, children's education. All these are a part of dreams, right? And you can only able to achieve your dreams if you have what thing in mind? Investment, right? How to invest your money, right? So these are again 4 things. Financial planning means protection against 4 Ds: protection against death, disease, disability, and our dreams. Now next question comes to our mind, that what is the process of investment then, right? So if I want to just guide you about the process of investment, it will be of 4 steps. And before that, I just want to recall that 3 stages, like protection, accumulation, and distribution. In protection, we must have first life insurance, health insurance, and emergency fund. Okay, कुछ भी हो जाए, then at least 3 times of your monthly expenses you must have in your saving accounts as an emergency fund. If your expense of your home is 30,000, then you must have 90,000 rupees in your saving accounts. If your expense is 50,000 per month, then you must have 1,50,000 as a liquid funds in your saving account. So when I say protection means you must have one good life insurance, health insurance and emergency fund. When I say accumulation, that means you should accumulate for your goals. And when I say distribution, you should plan for your retirement planning. Again, we are going to come on this in a subsequent slide after understanding the process of investment. So these are the 4 steps of process of investment. First is you must establish some goals, investment goals or financial goals. For example, one financial goal is, this is 2021, by 2030, I want to have one of the housing property of my own of 30 lakh rupees. So that is one financial goal. Let me set another goal. By 2030, I want to have car which is worth of somewhere around 7 to 8 lakh rupees. So that is again second financial goal. At the age of 55, I want to have minimum 10 crore rupees in my saving account. So that is a third financial goal. So that means first you need to think and chart out different kind of short term and long term financial goals. That means financial goals after 5 years, financial goals which can be achieved in 10 years, and long term financial goals like retirement, children plan, marriage planning, children education planning. Second, to achieve that financial goal, we must try to determine what is the risk tolerance capacity of ours. From some of you, you might have said that I do not want to take too much risk. From some of you, those who have mentioned the bitcoins that are extremely risky, but they have that product in their mind because their risk tolerance capacity is high. So second, you need to identify what is your risk tolerance capacity, right? Accordingly, we can able to select right asset class. If you are a risk averse person, that means you are not ready to take too much risk, then debt product is more suitable to you. Debt product means fixed deposit, then NSE certificate, public provident fund account, where there is almost negligible risk in that asset class. If you are ready to take too much risk in order to earn too much return, then we may advise you the high risk, high return kind of an asset class like equity, cryptocurrencies, then mutual funds and so on. So that all depends on your risk capacity. So determine your risk capacity, which will help us in determining right asset allocation. Once you invest your your money into different options, like you might have determined that I'm going to invest my 10% of income on fixed deposit, 20% of income I will going to save it for my car, and rest of I'm going to invest in equity market. So that is one portfolio of investment. So investment doesn't mean that you are only investing in stock market. It is a combination of all the different asset class where you are putting your money, right? So you need to create one portfolio of investment which is a combination of less risk product, high risk product, or maybe a debt product, or maybe real estate, maybe a commodity, and maybe a equity product. And fourth step is you need to constantly monitor so that there is a possibility that you may not able to achieve your financial goal, right, with a set asset class, and you need to revise it. कभी कभी revision भी बहुत important होता है, so you need to monitor it, revise it, right? So I'm going to explain you again that what do you mean by risk tolerance capacity, what is appropriate asset allocation class, a little bit in detail. So in short, what are the criteria of selection of asset class? One is your financial goal, then investment horizon, that means time period of investment, your risk appetite, that means whether you are risk averse or ready to take a risk, and fourth is expectation of a return. Suppose my financial goal is that after 20 years, I minimum want to accumulate 1 crore rupees in order to buy a new house, right? That means investment horizon time period kitna hai? 20 years ka. I am ready to take a risk, right? That means I am a risk taker kind of a person. And my expectation of return is minimum 12%, 1 to 12%. So that is my expectation of return. So these are the 4 very important criteria on the basis of which we can able to select asset class के डेप में जाना है, रियल एस्टेट में जाना है, इक्विटी में जाना है और कमोडिटी में जाना है. To assess a risk profile, there are some pre-ready tests which are available. assessment test होता है जिससे आपको पता चलेगा कि आपका risk profile कैसा है. There are some 20-30 questions which are there. You can answer that and you can able to identify that what is your risk bearing capacity, right? Whether you are a low risk profile person or high risk profile person. Generally, these are the parameters. Risk capacity depends on age. When you are young, you are ready to take higher risk. But those persons like your father who are in the age of 50s, their risk capacity is now low. Second is annual income. If you have like less income, generally at the starting age of your career, you have a less income, you are hardly able to manage your expenses, so you may prefer to go for a low risk. When you have a higher income, you may are ready to take a risk. What is accumulated wealth? Inheritance में कितना आया है उसके ऊपर भी depend करता है. If you are already being a billionaire, then you are ready to take exorbitant risk. But if you do not have accumulated wealth, then your risk capacity will be low. Number of dependents, how many members are there in your family, job security. So these are again some of the parameters of risk capacity. Again, very important parameter is mental profile and emotional stability. If you are a kind of a person who always used to see abhi kya ho gaya, like again whether the Sensex has been increased or decreased too much, or whether real estate market has been increased or decreased too much, or whether the prices of gold have been increased or decreased too much every day, that means your mental profile is not stable. Once you have kept in mind that I am accumulating this particular investment so that I can able to meet my financial goal, which is after 20 years, I'm not going to see what is going to happen with my investment. That means your mental profile is strong and you are emotional stable person. So again, these are the additional parameters which will determine your risk profile. So once you are able to identify or assess your risk profile, then you can select your asset class. See, this is again a matrix which shows you that which are the product which will give you what kind of a return and what kind of a risk are there. Cash, almost zero risk, zero return kind of a stuff. If you go in FDs, it is little bit risk, but again less return. Government bond falls in mid-range. Property will give you more return, and at the same time there is a little bit high risk. Commodity, more risk, moderate return. Equity market, high risk, high return kind of a stuff. You might have heard many stories related to how people have created a wealth with the help of equity market. But at the same time, you might have also heard a story that how people have lost entire money or entire wealth by investment in equity market. So it is a high risk, high return kind of a asset class. So this is give you a summary that equity market return is there, diversification is also possible, and liquidity is also there. Whereas in real estate, return is also high, but liquidity, that means you may not able to sell all of a sudden. अगर मुझे आज 10 लाख रुपया चाहिए तो I may not be able to sell any real estate property over the night. Whereas it is possible in fixed income, it is possible in equity market, it is possible in currency market, it is possible in commodity market, but it is not possible in real estate market. Whereas this shows that what is the kind of a return and what is the diversification in different asset class, right? Okay. So this is the ideal allocation, asset allocation. As I mentioned in the previous slide, that on the basis of risk capacity, we may be able to identify appropriate asset allocation. So I am just going to share with you that if you are low risk profile kind of a person, this is the ideal allocation. That out of every 1 lakh rupees which you want to invest, keep 20,000 on cash and deposits, keep 20,000 on real estate or gold, 50% on debt, that means fixed deposits and similar kind of a product, and 10% you should take a high risk kind of a product. If you are a high risk profile person, then it is advisable to invest almost more than 50% in equity or high risk product, 15% on debt product, 30% on a balanced product like real estate or gold, and 5% just you can put in a cash or deposits. Similarly, if you are a medium risk profile, then this is the ideal asset allocation. Right? I hope that point is clear to everyone. So I'm again coming back to that 3 stages: wealth protection, wealth accumulation, and wealth distribution, with all the different kind of investment alternative which we have learned. Like in protection, life insurance, medical insurance, critical illness insurance, disability insurance, all these insurance products will comes in wealth protection, wealth accumulation, risk-free growth, growth with some risk, and growth with high risk. So growth-free risk is all kind of saving plans, PPF and fixed deposits. Growth with some amount of links will be insurance, stock market and mutual funds. And high risk kind of is venture capital, means business and real estate. And in wealth distribution, you need to just plan about your retirement and estate planning, that what you want to keep it for your next generation. Right? So this is the basics of financial planning, which is very important for all of you to know. Now, my last question for today's session, which is very important and interesting, I want to teach you the golden rule of 72. That means what amount you should invest to become a crorepati. I want at least 3 or 4% to answer. सोच लो कि if your father is ready to give you one amount, right, for your retirement planning, right, or if you want to become, you have set a goal that at the time of retire, at least I want to have 10 crore rupees in my saving account, then how much rupees you should invest. आपको at the age of 60, आज से 40 साल के बाद, 40 साल के बाद, you want to become crorepati, at least you want to have 10 crore rupees in your bank account, then how much you should invest today?
Roundabout that value.
Roundabout? How much?
Roundabout that values. Like how much you want later on, depending on
10 crore. I said that I want 10 crore rupees after 40 years. कितना invest करना पड़ेगा?
Like right now or later down the road up until 20 years?
Right now.
Right now we could start smaller, right? Like with 50 to 60 lakhs and move up
If
there.
today you want to invest an amount, the thought process came to your mind that if you invest 50 lakh rupees today, it might be 10 crore rupees after 40 lakh. Very good. Anybody else? Okay. So I'm going to teach you golden rule of 72. 72, what is rule of 72? It will going to show you that after how many years your money will going to double. आपका पैसा double कितने साल में होगा? For example, suppose if I am earning a return of 8%, I am repeating, I am earning a return of 8%, then 72 divided by 8, 72 divided by 8, it will be how much?
9.
72, yeah, 9. So after every 9 years, my money will going to be double. So suppose a gentleman have invested 50 lakh, then after 9 years, it will be 50 into 2. That means 1 crore. Again, after 18 years, it will be 2 crore. Then after 27 years, it will be 2 into 2. That means 4 crore. And at the age of, after 36 years, it will be how much? 1 to 2, 50 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8 crore, right? And it might be possible that at the age of 40, he will going to achieve his goal, that means 10 crore rupees, right? If the return is just 8%. I'm repeating, if the return is just 8%, right? लेकिन 50 लाख तो अभी I'm not sure that whether your father will going to give you 50 lakh rupees or not. If I will say that you can able to achieve that similar goal by just investing 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees, is it possible?
With risky investments, balancing out, sure.
Right. If you are going to take little bit risk, calculated risk, or maybe some of the product which give you good returns in the future, then it is quite possible. I have shown you that chart where you have the return of 35 years. In that, there are two products which are giving more than 15% return. One is real estate, equity, both are giving close to 16%, and mutual fund is giving you approximately return of 18%. So now just imagine that you are investing in mutual fund which is giving you average return of 18%. Again divide 72 by 18. How much it will translate? 72 divided by 18.
Four.
4 years, right? Now just imagine that you have asked just 1 lakh rupees from your father, and 72 divided by 18, that means after 4 years your money will get double. That means after 4 years it will be 2 lakh. At 8 years it will be 2 into 2, 4 lakhs. After 12 years, how much it will be? 4 into 2, 8 lakhs. Then at 16 years, 8 into 2, 16. 20 years, 32. 24 years, 64 lakhs. 28 years, 64 into 2. That means 1 crore and 28 lakhs. Again, 32 years, 2 crore 56 lakhs. Again, 36 years, 5 crore 12 lakhs. And again, after 40 years, it will be 10 crore and 24 lakhs. Right? So this is the golden rule of 72, which will help you to know that after how many years your money will going to be double. So if your interest rate is just 2%, you are going to make your money double after 36 years. If your interest rate or return is 10%, you are going to make your money double after 7.2 years. And if your interest rate is almost 20%, then you are going to make your money double by 3.6 years. So if you invest in some good product which will give you at least a return of 15%, then you can able to achieve that 10 crore target with just investment amount of somewhere between 1.5 to 2 lakhs. That's it. Very simple. Right? So there is one video I'm going to play later on, but let me tell you what I'm trying to say, that it is very easy to become billionaire through some calculations also. Here, how much I've invested? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 lakh rupees. And even though it gives me 15% return, then after 35 years, how much it will translate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. It will be 1 crore 33 lakh if it is only 15% return. Right? That 1 crore rupees will be 3.27 crore after how many years? 35 years. And if I am getting a 20% return, it will be close to 6 crore rupees. This is a lump sum investment, one time investment. Now you are going to think that, okay, I do not have money that much, 1 lakh rupees, all of a sudden I want to invest and become a crorepati at the age of retirement. Another way of investment is SIP, which is called systematic investment plan. The same formula which I am trying to tell you at the beginning. Okay, you should invest some fixed percentage of your investment in some of the product. So that is called systematic investment plan. So suppose when you start earning, if you just put 5,000 rupees every month for your retirement, I'm repeating, 5,000 rupees every month for your retirement, then even at 15% return, you are going to accumulate 11 crore rupees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 11 crore rupees. Let me tell you here that with 15% return only, you will able to accumulate 11 crore rupees by systematic investment and financial discipline. So financial discipline is very important. Usme you should not withdraw before 40 years, before your age of retirement. Suppose if your your investment will going to give you very good return of 18%, it will directly going to be 27 crores, right? 27 crores. I'm not considering that your salary will going to increase or you are going to earn heavily. You just need to stick to 5,000 rupees and your retirement. That's it. And it is very easy to achieve a financial goal of 10 crore. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So again, I am heavily promoting some of the high risk products like mutual fund and equities, but you might be going to say that, sir, उसमें तो disclaimer आता है that investment in mutual fund and equities are subject to market risk. You may refer the product document before investing. Is it risky? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then also I advise you to go ahead with that product because you are young, you can able to take a risk for your goals which are long term in nature. And you might have watched that movie Scam 1992, and this is the famous quote from that movie: risk hai to isk hai, So being in a young age, for a better financial planning, I advise you to take some risk and select the right asset class which can beat the inflation, right? And which can make you a billionaire. And I wish that you all can fall into that billionaire club very soon, right? And for that, the golden rule of advice is just change your equation. Income minus fixed percentage goes to investment equal to expenditure. Do not go like income minus expenditure equals to investment or saving. वो भी बहुत ज्यादा नहीं करना है. You just need to fix 20%. That's it. If your income is 20,000, then you should invest 4,000. If your income has raised to 50,000, then you should invest 10,000. If your income raised to 1 lakh, then you should invest 20,000. Simple formula for the life. 20% of our income should get invested first. Then and then only spend from the rest of the amount. And I'm guaranteeing you, you are never going to face any financial difficulty in your life. I guarantee you from my experience, right? So that's it. I'm open for questions. And I just want to say you can stay hungry and stay foolish. I like this quote from Steve Jobs. Never be santusht with one or two success. Always be hungry for more and more earning and more success. And never be think that you are highly educated. Always be foolish for more and more knowledge. Thank you very much once again. And I'm open to questions. Like if you have any questions related to like whatever we have learned right now. Anybody is having any questions? It might be possible that you may not able to understand anything out of this presentation, or you do not have any aspirations like or any financial goals in the mind, or else like generally like people used to ask hundred of questions when the topic is financial planning.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
the thing is, like you have explained us about each and every financial planning. Like, what do you think is an amount, where you can just say, yeah, I have got enough money and I can relax right now. Because as it's written here, stay hungry, stay foolish. Like, what is the amount? Like, lifelong, you stay hungry.
Sure, 100%. Very good question. So suppose we need to think in present value. आज की तारीख में if I want to retire, I'm repeating again. आज की तारीख में if I want to retire, my monthly expense of my home is roughly 40,000 to 50,000. So if I have at least 1 crore to 2 crore rupees in my saving account, that will be enough to meet my all the financial goals which I have set for my family and to bear the expenses of my home. But if I want to think about yourself, because you are going to retire after 40 years, then as per the minimum inflation rate of 8%, you minimum should have the amount of close to 6 crores to 8 crores in your saving account to meet that expenses, right? तो आज की तारीख में जो 1 करोड़ की वैल्यू है, you must have minimum 6 crore rupees if you going to retire after 40 years, right? If you want to live into more inheritance, तो आप ज्यादा अच्छा गोल सोचो, 20 करोड़ का सोचो, 40 करोड़ का सोचो, 50 करोड़ का सोचो, right? But minimum, like if today it is close to 1.5 crore, then again depending on the years you need to count on the inflation के कितने हिसाब से inflation बढ़ रहा है. I hope that I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anybody else would like to ask any question? Okay. No worries. Like if you have any questions related to investment or maybe related to financial planning, I'll be happy to address. You can note down my email ID. It's chintan.rajani@rku.ac.in and chintan. I have just mailed, like put my email IDs on the chat box. So if you have any questions later on, if you want some facts and figures which I have made, like you want to verify it whether it is true or not, if you want some sources like again of different investment alternative, you can mail me any kind of a question. I will definitely trying to my best to answer your query or doubt. But one thing is very important which I want to advise to all of you: do not just focus on your career goals. Once you passed out being a graduate, when you start your job, keep that formula in your mind that you should start investing right from the very first salary. Right from the very first salary, right? Then I am guaranteeing you that 20% formula, if you are going to stick throughout your life, you are never going to suffer in your life, especially financially, right? So if there are no more questions as of now, so shall I end the session?
Sir, how would you balance out risky and safe investments, sir?
Yeah, very good question. So as I mentioned that your investment totally depends on the time horizon कि आपको कितने साल के बाद वो पैसे चाहिए. For example, if I have one goal which is just fall after 3 years, right? Which is a short term goal, which will be classified as a short term goal. So it is advised that you should not go for high risk kind of a product, because that horizon is very less for high risk kind of a products. But if you want that goal to be achieved after 10 years, that means you have a 10 years of period for investment. So that is called long term goal. So you will be advised to go for a high risk, high return kind of a product, because 10 years is a long enough where again there is a possibility of up and down cycle, but again there is a possibility that average on an average you are going to achieve your targeted return. So first and most important thing is when you want that money, time period. If it is short term, you should go for a low risk kind of a product. If it is a long term, like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, I advise always go for a high risk, high return kind of a product. Right? Then and then only you can able to beat the inflation.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Any more questions? Any questions from any audience?
I guess there are no more questions, sir. Now I request our Vice Chair to express our gratitude through vote of thanks.
We would like to thank Dr. Chintan Rajani, sir, for giving us his valuable time and sharing his knowledge about future financing for us graduates especially. Would also like to appreciate administrative and non-administrative staff, our respected HOD sir, respected principal sir, the management, and also IEEE Shreya Student Branch Counselor Prasad sir for giving us their valuable inputs and support for this webinar. Would also like to extend our gratitude to IEEE for giving us the opportunity to share this valuable knowledge with the students and also IEEE members. Thank you everyone for being here. We would like to thank the audience for making this webinar successful with your healthy participation. And we also have an announcement to make about the next webinar, which we have planned for you. The topic is Radiation Hardness Assurance on Space Electronics by Dr. Amit Chauhan, sir, Dean Innovation and Research, Professor ECE Department, Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology, Hyderabad. So kindly join us for this webinar. Thank you again. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm also very much thankful to all the office bearers of IEEE student section of Shreyas Institute. I'm also thankful to, heartily thankful to Prasad sir for inviting me and sharing my knowledge regarding this financial planning. And I'm especially thankful to Reddy sir and the management of Shreyas Institute of Engineering and Technologies for providing me this opportunity, and especially to all the participants for listening me patiently. I hope that at least you have got some glimpse about the investment and financial planning. Still, I look forward that if you have any of the questions, I always welcome on the question on my chat box or email ID. Once again, thank you all of you.